Muy buenos días a todos. En primer lugar, sumándome a los agradecimientos que han hecho tanto Fernando como Domingo, quiero daros a todos las gracias por estar aquí y muy en especial también a todos los ponentes que nos acompañan hoy. No me voy a enrollar mucho porque no tenemos mucho tiempo, con lo cual en esta primera sesión hoy nos acompañan presencialmente Bruno Tisserand, que es el presidente de Euro, que es la Federación Europea de Asociaciones Nacionales de Abastecimiento y Saneamiento. Nos acompaña también Conchita Marcuello, que es la subdirectora general adjunta de Planificación y Uso Sostenible del Agua de nuestra Dirección General del Agua. Jorge Tarczycki, que es el presidente del Comité 282/SC1 ISO-TC para la reutilización del agua residual tratada para riego, y aunque no nos acompaña presencialmente, contamos con la participación de Petitguyot, que es el responsable de políticas del agua de la Comisión Europea. Tomás no nos ha podido acompañar presencialmente. Habíamos organizado una conferencia con él en directo, pero debido a una serie de problemas técnicos que nos han surgido y que no hemos sido capaces de solventar, hemos tenido que recurrir a grabar su presentación. No es el formato más ideal, pero era la mejor opción que teníamos al final, con lo cual es lo que hemos hecho. Como ha comentado Domingo, esta primera sesión se divide en dos partes. Una primera parte donde nuestros ponentes nos van a presentar un poco el marco legislativo y normativo actual y el futuro, y una segunda parte donde tendremos una mesa redonda donde trataremos de debatir ciertos aspectos relacionados con los retos de la gobernanza de la reutilización. Entonces, si os parece bien, voy a pasar en primer lugar el vídeo de Tomás y después pasaremos con los ponentes que tenemos aquí en la mesa. Entonces, a ver,
Hola, buenos días a todos. Soy Petitguyot, trabajo en la Comisión Europea, en la Unidad del Agua. Y en primer lugar quisiera disculparme por no poder asistir en esta conferencia. En segundo lugar, me encantaría tener la oportunidad de presentarles nuestra iniciativa para promover la reutilización del agua en Europa. Lo siento, pero he de continuar hablando en inglés. Now I'm going to present you this initiative, and I will start with a few words on the policy background for this initiative. As you may know, water scarcity and drought is a wide issue in Europe and has been affecting 40% of the total population of Europe, which is the water stress conditions during summers. And 20 river basin districts face structural water stress issues, mainly in the Mediterranean area, but not only. And, well, this is especially an issue with agriculture and irrigation, as in this Mediterranean area, almost 75% of total water is used for agriculture. Sorry, this you can cut. So water reuse is seen at the European level as a strategic option that may provide not only significant environmental benefits, as it would encourage an efficient resource use, may reduce the pressure on EU water resources, and also positively contribute to the quality of EU waters, and also increase the recycling of nutrients. But positive impacts are seen also in the social and economic area, as we know we have a rapidly growing global water market, which is estimated as more or less 1 trillion euros by 2020. This would stimulate the development of innovative technologies, and this market could create between 10,000 and 20,000 new jobs in the near future. water reuse has been evaluated as quite a big untapped potential in Europe. The figures we have for the year 2006 show that 1 million cubic meter per year is reused, and this accounts for 2.5% of the total volume of treated effluents produced, and this percentage raised to 5 to 12% of treated water in Greece, Italy, and Spain, and it's about 0.4% of the annual EU freshwater withdrawals. And this is very low compared to what the situation is in other areas in the world, such as the United States or Australia. And we consider as an achievable potential in Europe 6 million cubic meters per year by the year 2025. Water reused was already highlighted in a communication of the Commission in 2012. We call the Blueprint to Safeguard Europe's Water Resources as an interesting option to address water scarcity. Already the untapped potential in many situations was stressed, and one of the barriers to a further development of water reuse was identified as the lack of consideration in water management, and also the lack of harmonized standards across member states. And for these reasons, already the opportunity was identified for an EU action to promote water reuse in the EU. You may be aware that in the recently published Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, there is a specific focus on water, and in the agenda for 2030 for sustainable development, among the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the Sustainable Development Goals number 6, to ensure access to water and sanitation for all, explicitly includes the target to increase recycling and safe reuse globally. And Europe and the member states are committed to achieve these targets. In a recent communication of the Commission on circular economy, water reuse was again stressed as an opportunity, and for this the Commission committed to develop a number of actions in the years to come, and 5 initiatives, 5 actions, were identified in this communication. And this is to address a better integration of reuse in water planning and management with the development of guidelines, the definition of minimum quality requirements for water reuse in 2 particular uses, which are irrigation and groundwater recharge, and the Commission committed to develop legislative proposal by next year, 2017. And the Commission also committed to address better water reuse in industrial activities, especially in the implementation of the Industrial Emissions Directive, and also to promote support to research and innovation and support via EU funds for investment in water reuse. Now I will briefly tell you about the progress to date and the next steps along these 5 actions. So, as regards the consideration for water reuse in integrated water planning and management, so we have been developing over the last year a document with member states and stakeholders. We call it CIS, Common Implementation Strategy of the Water Framework Directive, guidance on integrating water reuse in water planning and management. And this is to promote, as I said, a better integration of reuse in the implementation of EU water legislation and policies, to promote a common understanding of reuse in the context of the Water Framework Directive, and based on good practice, existing good practice in member states and in third countries. And we are aiming at publishing these guidelines at the end of this semester. As regards the legislative proposal on minimum quality requirements, this initiative is to address the lack of a coherent and comprehensive legislative framework within the EU. And we would focus on the two uses which are of most relevance at EU level, which are agriculture and groundwater recharge. And in this initiative, we have already published a roadmap and then what we call here an Inception impact assessment, where we set the way, where we explain what we will develop, and we also explain how this is likely to impact the environment and the users. And we asked the Joint Research Center of the Commission, the European Commission, to develop a technical proposal and to ensure that risks are properly addressed in consulting an independent scientific committee on health and environmental risks. And this proposal by the GRC is expected at the end of this year. We will also consult regularly member states and organizations, especially in the Water Framework Directive platform that we call the Common Implementation Strategy, CIS. And we plan to table the legislative proposal mid-next year. As regards water reuse in industrial activities, you may be aware that in the framework of the Industrial Emissions Directive, the Commission issues best available techniques reference documents, and we want to better integrate the consideration for water reuse in these documents. And for this work, we have targeted the most relevant sectors that are food, drink and milk industry, textile industry, and industrial cooling systems, for now. As regards support to research and innovation, as you may know, this is an active field for research and innovation, and that could boost competition of EU companies in the world market. So the main action will be within the European Innovation Partnership on Water, where water reuse is identified as a top priority. We have a new number of action groups working on this. We recently have a conference in the Netherlands where water reuse was high on the agenda. And we want to increase funding opportunities in the different funding tools that we have at EU level. In the research tool, the research funding opportunity, the new Horizon 2020, and there will have calls that will include specifically water reuse as one of the circular economy topics. But also there are opportunities in the European Regional Development Funds with the smart specialization strategies of member states and regions, and also the LIFE program for the environment and climate action, where pilot projects can be funded. And last but not least, funding opportunities for broader investments in water reuse and infrastructure. So EU funding is already available in a number of funds, the European Regional Development Fund, the Cohesion Funds, the European Agriculture Fund for Rural Development, and we want to encourage member states to use these opportunities and prioritize water reuse investment in their operational programs. And we also want to make room to water reuse infrastructures in the funding opportunities in the new FC Fund, the European Fund for Strategic Investment, also called the Juncker Fund. And we are now working on a dedicated platform for funding innovative investment in this sector, in the water sector, and especially for water reuse. So here is what I can say about our initiative now at EU level. We are very much committed to promote at EU level further reuse of treated wastewater in a safe way for both health and the environment. And well, we are happy to discuss this further with you. Thank you.